With Election Day less than a week away now, both parties bringing out their heavy hitters to rally supporters in some key midterm races. On the Democratic side, President Joe Biden and former President Barack Obama hitting the campaign trail in the final stretch before Election Day. Obama headlining a rally last night in a critical state of Nevada, saying the basic foundation of our democracy is at risk. On the GOP side, former President Donald Trump also set to visit Iowa tomorrow, rallying for Republican candidates there as the party pushes to regain control of the House and Senate. The latest forecast from ABC's 538 predicting a dead heat for control of the Senate, with Republicans holding a slight lead over Democrats right now. Joining me, ABC News White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks, and our political panel, ABC News contributor and former Republican Virginia Congresswoman Barbara Comstock, and former senior aide to the Biden-Harris campaign, Adrian Elrod. Mary Alice, Obama has been on a whirlwind tour across the country now, supporting Democratic candidates. Nevada, a major concern for his party. Let's talk about how things are shaping up there.
Yeah, Kira, this could be the most competitive Senate race across the country. This is a state where President Biden won in 2020 by about 2.5 percentage points. And for the last few years, the senator there, the Democratic incumbent Senator Cortez Masto, has been seen as one of the most vulnerable Democrats defending her seat. You saw the former president there with that big rally. Like you said, he's been one of the big power players, probably the biggest name that Democrats have been able to roll out. He can rally a crowd and energize voters probably like no one else in the party. It is very interesting that he is having to come out and back her, especially in these final days. I think that when Republicans first nominated Adam Laxalt, her challenger, there were a lot of Democrats that thought he was going to be just seen as too extreme for Nevada. They sort of had a moment where they were maybe not as worried about this seat. I mean, because frankly, he has been rather extreme. He was a big part of supporting and advocating for those election conspiracy and election lies after 2020. He co-chaired the Trump campaign in Nevada and really continued to push conspiracy theories. But he has had a swell of support. And again, this race is really, really close, a total toss-up.
And Barbara, former President Trump heading to Iowa tomorrow to campaign for Republican Governor Kim Reynolds and Senator Chuck Grassley. He's been teasing a possible third presidential run in 2024, saying he'll probably have to do it again. All right, is he doing this just to rally the base, or do you think he will truly run again?
Well, I think he certainly is kind of getting ready to take credit for whatever Republican wins there are. And I think Republicans have been kind of lucky that he hasn't been out there so much. You know, a lot of these really close states and districts really don't want him around right now. They've been kind of lucky he's been laying low for, you know, the past few weeks. And I think it's kind of unfortunate, certainly like in Nevada, that people like President Obama haven't been out sooner for Democrats. You know, to me, it feels like it's a little bit, you know, too little, too late on the Democrat side, while Republicans have kind of benefited from Trump maybe being otherwise occupied.
Right. And Adrian, you know, when looking at close races for control of the Senate, we've been talking a lot about this. How concerned are Democrats about this race between John Fetterman and Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania? I mean, President Biden, former President Obama, former President Trump, all touching down there to shake things up.
Yeah, I mean, Kira, we knew that Pennsylvania was always going to be close. We knew that there was no way that the polls that showed Fetterman up 8 points over the summer were going to hold. And why? Because Pennsylvania is the ultimate definition of a swing state. Hillary Clinton, of course, narrowly lost Pennsylvania in 2016. Joe Biden narrowly won Pennsylvania in 2020. The electorate is practically evenly divided. So we knew that this race was going to tighten. And look, over the last, few days, the polls have kind of gone up a little bit more in Fetterman's favor. At this point, it is all about turnout. Who has the best GOTV machine? Who's getting their people out to vote? I think it's a testament to how close this race is, and that Fetterman still very much has a strong shot at winning, given the fact that President Obama is coming in to really rally the troops, and President Biden too, of course, this weekend. So it's not a surprise. Look, we would flip the seat, which would be great in this cycle. But we knew this was going to be close, and hopefully Democrats will get out and vote, and we'll end up winning.
All right, Mary Alice, President Biden is supposed to address the nation tonight, right, about the threat of election deniers and also the stakes for our democracy, as they keep putting it, in these elections. What's the strategy behind this? Is it to remind voters of the chaos that Trump inflicted?
Perhaps he wants to talk about what he sees as a real threat to democracy. If you have candidates that could win in these states across the country who continue to deny the results of the last election, cast doubt on free and fair elections. But I think there's a second part to this speech, too. He really wants, I think, to tell people that it is safe to vote. You know, we've heard so many people anxious about what seems to be the potential for growing political violence and threats of political violence. I'm thinking of those scenes in Arizona where it looked like potential voter intimidation, people in camouflage with tactical gear outside of drop boxes. I think that the president feels like he needs to make sure people feel good about voting and that he is really standing up against any threats like that.
All right, Mary Alice Parks, Barbara Comstock, Adrian Elrod, thank you, ladies, so much. We'll be talking a lot, of course, and ABC News Live is going to have complete coverage all day long of the 2022 midterms on Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th, beginning at 7 a.m. Eastern, and special election night coverage led by our David Muir, Lindsay Davis, and the entire ABC News powerhouse political team beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. And be sure to catch the latest episode of Impact by Nightline exclusively on Hulu. Tomorrow's episode will examine election security ahead of the midterms and also feature coverage from my ABC News Live anchor, Terry Moran.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.